A fundamental truth that'll make life easier is recognizing that humans are incredibly simple creatures. The most complex person that you know is simply a series of patterns aligned in order, following causes and the consequences thereof. There is substantial evidence to suppose that there is no such thing as free will. To engage in any sort of conversation, argument, or debate about the way that the world is to suppose that we exist in a deterministic universe, which is to say that something happens and something happens because of that. There is a cause and effect. Should we exist in a non-deterministic universe, everything that we have seen up until this point has been randomly aligned with one another, and at that point there is no point in arguing anything, because nothing has caused anything else, and therefore there is no free will either. But if we exist within a deterministic universe, there is a cause and an effect, and so on down the line until we get to you, who is watching this right now, and me, who is making this right now. We are slaves to our past because we cannot be anything but. There is substantial evidence to suppose that this is the case. Should we have any free will at all, it will come from the agency that we take from becoming self-aware. And to become self-aware, we must recognize the fact that humans are incredibly, incredibly simple beings. There are wants, needs, desires, whatever you may call them, that drive us forward. There are ways that we act and ways that we react, and all that we can really control is the way that we react to the situations that we are placed in. Those situations have been predetermined by effects and their causes all the way back. But the way that you handle them is the most agency that you will have. It's the best argument that you have for free will. Elsewise, not only are we simple beings, but we are essentially automatons. And so, if you have any designs in not being an automaton, consider the situations you find yourself in, the people you find yourself surrounded by. Ask yourself, is there another way? Is there something different that I can do? Is there someone different that I can be? Because in that same avenue, identity is something that we can choose for ourselves. It is a lease we take out every day when we consider who we have been and who we will be. If there is any such thing as free will, if there is anything that we can believe in this world, it must be that we can change and we are capable of change. Because the only difference between fiction and reality is that in fiction we can be better than we are. So cook yourself up a fiction of yourself. Be a better version of it. Be a better person than you have been. You don't have to beat yourself up about who you have been. You don't have to give them the time of day. But you can be better. And you can change. It's never too late to change. Because if it's too late to change, it has always been too late. Because your perception of what is right now is not what is right now. Dimensionally speaking, you are observing but a tiny portion of anything. And to assume that you are so centrally located that your ability to change has been taken from you because of the duration that you have existed on this earth is so silly. And if you are able to receive this message and comprehend it in any sort of way, you are not so juvenile as that thought. So it is not too late to change. And change is all we have. In this war against the past, which prescribes for us where we should go and who we should be, if you wish not to be an automaton, if you wish for more than a plastic toy soldier stomping away on the counter until it teeters over the edge and down into the wastebasket, if you wish for more than that, if you wish to be a person, a real live person, as simplistic as they might be, consider being better. You don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing. The Platonic ideal does not exist. You don't have to be perfect. But you can be better than you were yesterday. Whatever that looks like is different for every person. And if you can't find it within yourself to be better than you were yesterday, then at least don't be worse. That's something to strive for. To at least not be worse than we were yesterday. I'd sign that pledge. I'd sign the pledge that says, I will not be worse than I was yesterday. At least. Because if we can't agree to at least not be worse than we were yesterday, then what are we doing? We're incredibly simple creatures. I think that we owe it to our simplicity and the simple others that exist within our orbit and on our planet to at least not be worse than we were yesterday. At least that. At least.